First order of business. Any lineup changes for you tonight or the same as game one?
Same as game one.
Okay. When your game plan obviously worked well in game one, your team executed it, I assume the way you want them to. How do you coach them up for game two? What do you risk putting new wrinkles in, or do you just do more of the same? What do you do?
I think the most important thing is we do more of what we did. There's going to be adjustments that we want to make. There wasn't a perfect game by us. I thought there was a lot of things we did well, but there was some reminders for our guys on this is what LA's really good at, this is what we need to do, and the biggest thing is just to anticipate LA coming out and being much better tonight.
From Cam, wanted to ask about coming out with enough sense of urgency that's required tonight, but also the calm that's required to play well against this team. How you kind of balance that?
Yeah, I think it's most important. I think this time of the year, it's as a coach, it's not pushing your guys to get excited and elevating their game for the game, or raising their emotions. There's so much adrenaline, excitement for a playoff game, especially early in a series. It's mostly about calming emotions, making sure they're focused, and playing their game as much as possible.
We were chatting with Draisaitl this morning. He was talking about Corey Perry, and he said he thinks he has the best game management he's ever seen. So in game, knowing what's required and when. What are some of the things that you see that make him great at that?
Well, one, just the way he interacts with the referees on, communicating with them about calls and what's not getting called, distracting the opponent, whether it's a scrum or just a little extra shot or finishing their check, a chirp, a talk on the ice, and motivating teammates, making sure they're staying focused. And he might notice a guy who's getting distracted. He's good at getting them back in line and telling them what they need to do for their next shift. There's a lot of things. He's seen a lot of hockey games. Approaching 200 playoff games. He knows all the tricks of the trade.
Kris, you always talk about the power play being well, but if you don't win the faceoff, I guess it doesn't matter. But Leon wins an awful lot of them. What do you see from Leon in the faceoff circle as to why he wins so many faceoffs?
Well, last night on the power play, we were very good on the power play. I know Leon won a lot, and I think he got tossed out one of them. He did lose one of them, which we were able to recover, which led to, I believe, our first power play goal. But, one, I think there's been mention about his stick. The blade of a stick is so big and flat that helps him. I think another one is how strong he is. He's a very powerful man, which helps him, but also the skill aspect of it, of being able to time it and understanding what the other centerman's trying to do. He's pretty good at figuring that out.
Between games here, what's your philosophy, or how much thought do you put into making sure that you guys are prepared for tonight's game, getting on the ice, watching video, that sort of thing, but also making sure guys get enough rest and kind of get time away from the rink, if you will?
Yeah, no, that's a very important part of the game, is getting the guys prepared to play and balancing how much practice time you have and how much rest. And yesterday we decided we would have a full team skate. This morning was an optional skate, and when things are going well, you probably want to keep into that routine. But it's easier said than done, because now there's travel days, and we're traveling tomorrow. That makes it more difficult to have that practice. So then probably going into game 3, and we'll probably have a morning skate. So as for coach, we want the guys on the ice either the day before or the morning. And also just leaving it up to the players, how much ice time they feel they need. Some guys are skated yesterday and they're on today because they feel that being on for morning skate is very important to them.
Is that different than maybe when you were coaching junior? These guys are professionals. They've done this for a long time. Do you, I guess, leave it up to them a little bit more than maybe you would?
No, actually, surprisingly, when I was in junior, I kind of got away from the morning skates. Some teams have felt that they did that all the time. It's very similar to what I've done over the years.
Kris, a lot of firsts for you this year as the first time NHL head coach. There was a series supervisor come playoff time in the NHL. Rod Pasma is the supervisor. I'm wondering what you've gotten out of those meetings so far. Over the years, there's been some veteran coaches. There's a bit of gamesmanship sometimes in the messaging in those meetings. What's it been like for you?
I think it's beneficial for me, and there's nothing, you can complain about calls and lay the groundwork on, but ultimately, it's got to go through a lot of players. Like, I got to communicate that to the supervisor, and he throws that through the game officials for that night, and probably has very little effect. And I think it's more the communication from Rod to myself, or that supervisor telling me what they're looking for, and I can communicate that to my players. But as for the gamemanship, yeah, I would like to say that I can influence them, that call more holding calls on McDavid, but ultimately it's usually on deaf ears.
Hi, Kris. What did you make of the way you guys defended as a team in Game 1, and are there any areas you'd like to see cleaned up?
Absolutely. I don't think we're ever completely happy with our game. I think there's always areas to improve. But I think we were in a position to defend less just because of how well we moved the puck. We made really good decisions. Very few turnovers, and that's usually where you're in a position to defend. So I just want us to play a fast, up-tempo game so we're not in those positions.